What's going on, Manny? It's Guys here, and welcome back to another stellar video. Now, recently I've been obsessed with these animated storytime videos. In case you could not tell, animated storytime videos are when a story is being told and it's animated. I know that might come as a huge surprise to you, but what I think is going to come as an even bigger surprise is the fact that I'm going to be watching an animated storytime video today. The video in question today is titled, "There is a real-life imposter in my class."
But I never thought the Among Us game would happen to me in real life.
You've probably heard about the game Among Us at this point. It's pretty popular, and when it's popular, you gotta make a video about it so that you can get views. It's kind of what I'm doing right now. Well, kind of. The animated story video doesn't really have anything to do with Among Us, although the title and thumbnail might make you think otherwise. In the video, they do use some Among Us vocabulary words like sus and imposter, but that's really it. Anyways, let's watch this video.
It's a pretty fun game, but I never thought the Among Us game would happen to me in real life. When I was 16 years old,
See, these animated storytime videos are made as if they're real, like these are real stories, but I have a little trouble believing that Among Us in real life happened.
Something terrible happened to the kids in my class. And that's when I found out there was a real life imposter in my class.
See, the word imposter in Among Us terms is used to describe everything. Your little brother steals something from you? Imposter. Your friend tells you a lie? Imposter. Someone disposes of a body in the garbage can behind Wendy's? Imposter.
But before I go on, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you do, you will become a beast at Among Us. Trust me, it really works.
Alright, I left a like on the video and now I'm a certified gamer. Jackson, why are you just running in Are you kidding me? Did you guys finish your tasks?
No, Manny, you didn't do
Manny, you didn't do anything.
Thank you, Storytime Animated. Now I'm finally good at video games.
My class was also very small, with only 9 kids in total, including my best friend, Jeremy. Jeremy and I had grown up together since we were practically fetuses, as our moms were best friends too. Jeremy and I did everything together, and he was more like a brother than a friend. School was pretty much normal. We had assignments, did work, got detention,
Took tests, had recess, stole the teacher's computer so that we could play Fortnite.
Not much happened in our town. There wasn't much crime because everyone knew each other, and that would be like stealing from your own family.
You see, really bad criminals who do terrible things wouldn't commit those really bad, terrible things if it was like stealing from their family. Like, that's where it really crosses the line for them.
And that would be like stealing from your own family. One day, a new student came to our class. The teacher introduced her as Abigail, and she looked like a really shy girl. I was also slightly creeped out by her. She always seemed to be staring at me, and it was almost like she never blinked. Her eyes had bags under them, and she was also wearing quite raggy clothes. I looked away as she sat down, and I made a face at Jeremy. Jeremy chuckled. He understood how I felt. Abigail.
Honestly, the way that Jeremy chuckled right there was probably more creepy than that girl.
He understood how I felt. For a few weeks, nothing significant happened at school. We just continued our studies, except we had a new kid among us.
There's more Among Us vocabulary.
You can imagine my shock when Michael wasn't in class. Jeremy, where's Michael? I whispered to Jeremy while the teacher was still calling names. I don't know, replied Jeremy. He looked concerned. Should we go to his house and see what's wrong? I asked. Sure, let's go after school, he replied. Once school ended, we went straight over to Michael's house.
Jeez, these are the nosiest kids ever. Imagine if you didn't attend school one day, and for that reason, a bunch of kids showed up at your house to ask why.
Now, if there had only been that one disappearance, I may have been able to move on. Sure, it was absolutely terrible that Michael was missing, but I was willing to move on with my life.
Yeah, if one kid in my class disappeared as a missing persons case, I could move on, you know?
It had been a week since Michael's disappearance. We were sitting in class waiting for the students to fill in, but I noticed that there were only 8 kids. I realized that Emily was missing. Mr. Layson, Emily isn't here, I raised my hand and told the teacher. Mr. Layson looked around, and I thought I saw fear flash across his eyes.
Does the teacher really not notice that a student isn't there when there's 9 kids in the class total, and apparently when a kid isn't there, it's like a huge deal? And also the fact that a student is absent equals that they're missing for some reason. Like, do kids really attend school that much there? Every time I go to school, there's always 1 or 2 kids absent in my class.
At that point, Abigail, that new kid I told you about, entered the room. There was something about her that made me terrified. I don't know whether it was the blank stare or her strange appearance, but she gave me the heebie-jeebies.
The heebie-jeebies?
Meanwhile, I was getting really suspicious of Abigail. It seemed too coincidental that she turned up at our school, and suddenly 2 students went missing. I was super sus of her.
See, there's your Among Us vocabulary. I feel like someone in my class might be kidnapping my other classmates. Kind of sus of them, like in Among Us.
I decided to talk to Jeremy about my suspicions. I think Abigail may have something to do with Michael and Emily's disappearance. I've been thinking the exact same thing, he said. I think we should investigate it more, figure out if Abigail is behind all this. I honestly think there's an imposter in our class.
They have to make it something related to Among Us. Otherwise, it's not a good video, you know? Alright everyone, so we have this video to make, and it's going to be about Among Us. It's going to be an Among Us story. Now, the story actually has nothing to do with Among Us, but I do think it'll be okay if, we include the word sus and imposter every once in a while. Yeah, you should do that. I really think we should do that. You should, have the word sus. That's a good idea.
She entered her home, and soon she was gone. Jeremy and I waited outside, hiding behind some bushes. And then Jeremy suggested we sneak into the garden and take a peek through the window.
These gotta be the 2 dumbest kids ever. If there's someone in your class you think could be kidnapping classmates, and then you go to their house to spy on them, as if that's like you're being careful, by going to their house.
Abigail was in the living room, and she was holding something in her hands. And I remembered what that something was. Emily's backpack. That's right. Abigail was holding Emily's backpack. Emily, the one who was missing. I truly believed Abigail was the imposter.
Maybe you could just throw a few more Among Us words into the script.
I motioned to Jeremy, and we fled the scene before we were caught spying. I told Jeremy about what I saw, and he looked terrified. We didn't know what we should do next, though. Should we go straight to the police?
Okay, so if you were to give the evidence to the police officer, that would be great, but you would also have to tell them that you went to their house and then went in the bushes behind their house and spied on them through their window.
We arrived at Jeremy's house and headed to his room. We were sitting in there for a while, talking about our suspicions of Abigail and how we might catch her, when I heard a noise come from downstairs. It sounded like shouting or something. What was that? I asked. What? Replied Jeremy. It sounded like it came from the basement. Don't worry about it, he said.
I scratched my case. I don't care about this Luke kid. Why is Jeremy so dumb? Okay, so apparently kids are going missing and you hear screaming noises. But let's not worry about it at all, It's not a big deal.
I went over to the basement door and headed down the staircase. The noises were a lot louder now, and I was sure someone was shouting. When I made it down, I turned the light on. What I saw shocked me to my core. There was a cage, a huge cage, and inside were all the missing students.
How dumb is this kid Jeremy and his entire family? How do you not realize that there is a cage filled with children in your basement? How do you not realize that? Like, maybe they don't go in their basement all the time, but why were these kids just silent? Couldn't they have, made some noise and been like, hey, I'm down here, can someone, maybe get me or come to me and help me?
Why would they be in Jeremy's basement? And that's when it hit me. Jeremy was the imposter. Suddenly, I heard footsteps behind me and Jeremy appeared. So, you found out, said Jeremy. Jeremy tied me to a chair.
What a plot twist.
Then, something happened that turned my world upside down. Red lights started flashing in the basement, and a speaker was turned on. A voice spoke through the speaker. And that is the end of the Among Us game show, Student Edition.
Yeah, we had 4 missing person cases, and it was for the Among Us game show. Imagine being a parent, and then your kid goes missing, and you're shocked and terrified and worried. And then a few days later you learn it was for an Among Us game show.
Suddenly, a man dressed in a suit, as well as some cameramen, came into the basement. It looks like Jeremy has won the game, the man said into his microphone. Yes! Jeremy pumped his fists into the air. The whole thing had been part of the game show. Michael's disappearance, Emily's disappearance, the others going missing. It had all been part of this game show that had taken place. Everyone was in on it, the parents, the teachers, even the police. The only people that had no idea were myself and the students in my class.
Yeah, guys, I think that this is real. They obviously intend for these stories to seem like they're real because their About section says, the purpose of this channel is to give people the opportunity to share their story about heartbreaks, unusual experiences, successes, or challenges in life, or anything that sound interesting, and have their story animated and shared it with the world. I'd say that's a pretty grammatically correct About section for a channel with 1.4 million subscribers. Well, that was a lot of fun, but on that note, I think it's time to end the video, so I hope you did enjoy. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Videos haven't been doing too well likewise lately. They've been down a little bit. So I decided that we have to make it a law now. You are legally required to like the video. If you don't, then prison. Make sure to go check out all my other social medias, like all that stuff on screen right now. It's linked in the description. You know, my second channel where like almost every day right now I'm posting bonus content, and my Twitch where I'm streaming every few days and it's really fun and chill. Or my Twitter and Instagram where I post fun stuff, or my Discord server that's a lot of fun, and I put updates for my channel there a lot, and it's a lot of fun, so be there. Alright, well, I gotta go because an Among Us game show is about to start and wouldn't want to miss that, so bye, have a good day.